Right. Hello, y'all. Happy witching hour. It is the High Priestess Jamila. Okay, so you probably gonna hear me over here smacking because we're having cheeseburgers and steak fries at 4 o'clock in the morning. And hey, at least we eating. Okay. So I was doing a reading for someone and it triggered me to make this video, and I've got to talk about this. And it's not even about the occurrences and the circumstances of dealing with a narcissistic sociopath, but it is about figuring out how exactly do you get out of the maze of the matrix that they create or that they can create. I think that if you get out of a bad situation within the first couple of years, shouldn't be too much damage. But with these days, with people, with bad people, narcissistic people, sociopathic people, sadistic people, having access to black magic, domination, binding love spells and stuff, and they typically can extend it. When you get the red flag, or either you get the warning, because typically you'll get the red flag, and then you'll usually come and do something like get a reading. And especially if it's a tarot reading, many of us readers read differently, but when certain cards come up, they mean what they mean. You cannot work on a narcissist. You cannot make a narcissistic person be better. They don't get better. Listen, you're going to learn the hard way. Okay? So I'm going to run this down to y'all. Some of the main cards that you may get, a lot of people think it's going to be the devil and the death card. Not necessarily. The death card can just end it. Depends on the surrounding cards. The death card and the devil card together with like the two of cups could just mean that this person might be a very passionate lover, or they, you know what I'm saying? It could be a warning, but the four of pentacles, four of cups, and five of pentacles. Okay. There's a tarot spread that I do. Um, and I encourage you guys to schedule readings, because for some reason it seems like the narcissists are all on a schedule in unison with one another. They are. So a lot of y'all was dealing with a narcissist on some level, and some of y'all didn't even know if y'all were going to survive it yesterday. And I know it for a fact. I know you like, how does she know? Because I've noticed the pattern. And that's why it's important for the narcissist to, you know how like when you're in a relationship with a normal person, and some, you know what, everybody has their flaws sometimes, okay? But I'm talking about a narcissist is going to take you down. They're going to have you on the magic carpet ride, and they're so verbally abusive. And then also, some of them are doing spell work with it. Narcissistic lovers remind me of the evil witch in Hansel and Gretel. Because what they do, and this is their cycle, they start at 1. Let's go from 1 to 10. The cycle may be fast or slow. Typically, when you're dealing with a normal person, you could go a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and that person ain't doing what a narc would do, which is not something that is all in your head. No, they're going to let you know. It's not something that narcissistic people can't do anything underhanded. They're doing underhanded things, but they have to let you know they let you know exactly who they are. This is something that's very important to the narcissist, because the cycle that you're going through from 1 to 10 is the conditioning. They build you and build you and build you and build you and build you up, fatten you up, lift you up, uplift you, and then bam, smack down. It's time for smack down, beat down. It's not because it might be because of their trauma, but most of the time, narcissistic people were actually doted on. Some of them were abused, but narcissistic people were usually pretty much doted on. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always their trauma, right? So they take you through this cycle. This is the conditioning cycle. This is the reason why they will love bomb and pull away, because they are preparing you emotionally for the takedown, right? So what they do is they fatten you up, get your hopes up high, and it's actually, they are feeding. So that's why I said they're comparable to Hansel and the witch and Hansel and Gretel. They get, they may even give you gifts sometimes. Some of them don't. Some of them broke, real broke. They ain't got nothing. They ain't got nothing to offer. But it's not worth it, because they only give you things to control you. I wouldn't. Hey, if you get a pair of shoes, a pair of underwear from a narcissist, make sure that you cleanse it of their intention. Whatever it is that you get from them, you're going to realize that it was cursed from the beginning when they gave it to you. It was meant to be a curse. It wasn't meant to enrich you. It was only meant to control you. Okay, this is something that a lot of people learn about narcissists. And if you notice, they peep you out, and especially if you're a woman, they really, really, really love to target independent women, loving women, family women. They really love to target you, because they don't like the fact that you do good, especially if you're a single woman. They don't like to see a single woman do good on her own. They want to swoop in there, and some of them will play the fake twin flame type of situation. And by the way, I found out that twin flames are very real. However, all of us don't have a twin flame, and you don't have to. You don't have to have a twin flame. Okay, it's fine. Is in fact, when you don't have a twin flame, you have several choices of husbands that you can choose from, or wives that you can choose from in this lifetime. Okay, so a twin flame actually is very limiting. And it's actually very liberating when you find out that you don't have a twin flame. Okay. But anyway, I'll get into that into another discussion. The narcissist is typically involved in gang stalking. They're involved. In fact, they have these puppets, and these puppets, they just go on and on. Constant chitter chatter. Nothing positive is being said, and it's all a part of their subconscious. It's all a part of the chaos of their minds, right? Do not proceed and go any further with a narcissist. Don't ever do it. Because what they are doing is they have an intention of tearing you down. Really, they're trying to murder you, they're trying to unalive you. They will tear down your mind, your brain. There have been people to where they've dealt with narcissists and it's literally destroyed their brain to where they end up with brain damage. This is the reason why you feel blocked. And then another thing, be careful, be very careful, especially women, of the ones where it's like you're married but you're not, because what they do is they pretty much spiritually trap you. Even they don't even have to be legally married to you, and it will stay that way for years. That's the reason why a lot of you guys can't move on from them. Years and years later, they will damage your life, and it's very, very difficult, especially if it's a male, but it can be a woman too that has a foundation of, and I hate to say it, the Bible. Okay. Now, yesterday was really interesting because Jesus Christ, as well as Saint Michael, saved me. So whenever Jesus Christ saves me, I always give him public recognition. Okay. Always. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And then Saint Michael was coming in. You know, Saint Michael, when Saint Michael wants your attention, I'm talking about the archangel. I'm not talking about a man, I'm talking about the angel. Saint Michael actually comes in sometimes as an aura headache, which is those, it can either be bubbles like circles that look like orbs, or either triangles that will appear in your vision. And that's literally a sign of Saint Michael coming in to help, trying to send you messages of urgent help. Hey, Stevon Harris. Hello, happy witching hour. So, and you know what? I just discovered that yesterday too. But you know what? I'll let y'all know what I went through. We'll talk about that later. I want to stick with the discussion because yesterday there was another conjunction of Mars with Cancer, which oh, I loved it. I loved it. I love it when Mars and Cancer communes with each other. So Mars merged with and I'm gonna go outside in a minute after I get done eating and stuff. I'm gonna go outside and with, because I've got like a little app that shows me like the constellations, and I want to take a picture of it to see it because and that happened on the 28th, which was yesterday. Okay, and so it was a really, really, oh man, it was such a, whew, what a day it was yesterday. Okay, spiritually, and everything else. So basically, I am telling you right now, I don't care if you feel a connection with them. If they're giving you red flags and your intuition is telling you, and you have went to someone and they have warned you about this person, please listen to the messages. Okay? There is a certain thing that you have to do That's what I was going to tell you guys. And my uncle told me this years ago before he died. He said, and you know what? I don't know why I'm remembering this. I know why, because he told me that for a reason. My Uncle Irvin, he said, you don't have to go and get married in the church. He said, marriage can happen outside of the church. He said the ceremony is just about, you know, talking about it to God. Hey, Unicali. And then also, the wedding ceremony is about the celebration. You know what? Even if you never marry the narcissist, you're still, some of them will, that's why you hear the saying, don't act like you married to a man if you're not married to a man. That's the truth. I'm not talking about people that live together. So I'm just saying in general, you don't necessarily have to live with that person for that to happen. Especially women have to be careful with men because they will attach themselves. And then also, I think that I haven't read it in the Bible. I'm going to look that up though. I think that would be really interesting to find out what the Bible says about spiritual marriage, exactly. Um what it says about Christian men or whatever having several wives. I know that King Solomon had hundreds. Um and so, you know, but in the Bible it says that your husband rules over you. So you'll wonder why is it that this and that, and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm not in control of my life anymore. If you have a cruel narcissist, which all of them are cruel, there's no such thing as a nice narcissist. But if you have somebody that's particularly ruthless, they want to put you in a situation to where you need them, and they want you to be vulnerable so that they can so that they can just abuse you. And the reason why they're doing that, some of them are parasitic, but some of them are just really soul killers. They're just killers. If you get certain signs, do not proceed for, don't even get into it for a little while. Don't do it just out of curiosity. There's a ritual that has to be done. I'm not going to go into detail about it because all the narcissists are like, I'm getting ready to attack her. Yeah, you know. So I'll say less about that. Um, but it's a ritual that you have to do. That's why you can't just say, oh, I'm done with this person and everything just goes back to normal. Narcissistic people mimic shamanism a lot. Shamans can bend reality through their magic. Narcissists can do this almost, but it's very, very different. It's very different from how shamans do it. Okay. And even why shamans do it. Now, I'm not saying that every shaman out there is good. Not saying that, but many of the shamans are healers. Okay. They do mimic shamanism though. And the only way they do that is that they change reality around you, and then also they're either stealing or changing your destiny. Okay. And so there is certain works that you have to do. I don't care what your spiritual beliefs are. I feel that you can heal and recover very quickly. I'm talking about within 24 hours or less. It depends on you. And it depends on what you were doing during the course of the relationship with that person. Okay. If you was just being their punching bag and you were not fighting back, which is what they want. Okay. They want to be able to say whatever they want to say to you, do whatever they want to do to you, and you not say anything. You're not supposed to say anything. Not anything. You're not, there, and it's not fun being in a relationship with them anyway, because what's sickening about it is that they will purposely put you in a child's place and you're an adult, but then they'll tell you, you're not my child. The foundation of the relationship becomes all about threat. I'm going to be a threat to you. I'm going to do something to hurt you. I'm going to do something to hurt the people around you. Okay. So do not get involved with a narcissist at all. Don't do it at all. But if you do, just know that this could happen immediately, or it may take a while, that they will become what Unicali put in the chat. It will become a spiritual marriage to where they're controlling everything. And you're like, what the hell? Okay. When you see that, walk away. You cannot change them. You cannot teach them how to love. And many people, what they found is that it essentially ends up costing them hundreds or either thousands of dollars getting that stuff off of them. Okay. You can recover and heal, but especially if they've had spiritual work done on you, they've done several things to you. I've had to remove baneful poppet work from women before, do healings of the brain, court case work. Some women have lost their children. Some women have lost their lives, you know, and men too, because there are some women that are really narcissistic. Okay. Now, the one thing I want to tell you, a narcissist will pursue you. That's one of the reasons why a lot of smart women boycotted 50 Shades of Grey. They will be very aggressive in pursuing you. There's ways of protecting yourself. Yeah, and it has to be done. While they are in the pursuit of you, those things have to be done to protect you so that you will not get caught up with them at all. Okay. Don't even get involved at all. Trust me on that. Okay. All right, y'all. I'm gonna finish eating this food. If you had a dealing with a narcissist, especially yesterday, schedule a reading. Something needs to be done about it now. Need to end the cycle, end the marriage with them, walk away from them before they make you sick or kill you. Okay? Trust me on that. All they know how to do is act. They don't know how to actually love. They know how to pretend. That's it. Your body is meant to receive real love, especially when you are opening yourself up to somebody sexually and intimately. Your mind, your body, your spirit, your heart, when you're opening yourself up and you're not receiving real love, that can do a lot of damage, because what you're doing is you're giving and giving and giving, but nothing is being reciprocated. Everything is being taken. And it doesn't matter if they give you some money. They are willing to invest in that. And I've seen a lot of women. I actually had a relative of mine die because of that. You know, but he just took everything from her, even though he was financially supporting her. He just took everything from her, everything inside of her. I've had a couple of women in my family die because of that. Young, young. Okay. So, and at the end of the day, it's not worth it. Like I said, they will do spell work or get spell work done on you. And I think it's important that if you're going through that, I think the best course of action would definitely be a protection spirit doll. Okay, now keep in mind one of the reasons why voodoo dolls are the biggest symbolism that they use for witchcraft is because they're very powerful. That's like some of the most powerful magic and sorcery that you're going to do is with a voodoo doll. But it doesn't always have to be bad. It can be protection, it can be healing, it can be empowerment. Yeah. So you can't get involved with them. You can't. If you have children, think about your children. You'll notice that before you met the narc, everything, you were stable. Financially, emotionally, you was feeling good. They typically home in and swoop in, especially for those of you that start, discovering your spiritual self and you start healing yourself. And, that's when they'll swoop in. Don't do it. Don't do it ever. Okay. Now I know that there's some emergency and urgencies right now. I could feel it yesterday, and I was fighting and I was praying. And who I prayed to was Saint Michael. Um, and I had a couple of I had one of my apprentices. Uh, she prayed over me with Jesus as well. Now and because she knows what I'm about, and Jesus really helped me. You know what I'm saying? And he told me, he said, "Hey, I know that are involved with the underworld and stuff." And he's like, "But I'm still here to help you." He's like, "You don't have to be Christian. I'm still here to help you. You needed me, and I did. So, but we're doing some rituals to Saint Michael, because Saint Michael um, and Saint Raphael came through big time, and so I've got them residing over my Saturn power group. Okay, so just to let y'all know that. And I think that a lot of you guys are really going to feel that positive uh energy shift, because it was very powerful what happened yesterday. It was very powerful. You And so there's so much positive that we're looking forward to, because I'm gonna tell you something straight up and down. um a lot of the angels and the saints, they don't condone what they do. Okay, just FYI, they don't condone that. They really do want to help you. They really, really, really want to heal you. And so a narcissist really is inhuman. The behavior is just, what they do is just horrible. You know what I mean? That's the only way I can describe it. So, and what's crazy is that they will purposely create stuff, and they'll obviously be creating problems for you, and then they'll say weird things to you. They'll say weird things to you that they're either projecting or making up something about you that's not true. It's weird. Next thing you know, because they always have a bunch of friends and buddies, bless you, baby. Next thing you know, because they always have, a bunch of fellow narcs with them. Every single thing about the other person, they'll put it off on you. Like, it was really weird. It was really, really weird. I was like, what are you talking about? And I can't get into detail about that. I wish I could. I wish I could, y'all. Yeah, I wish I could. It's not worth it though. You know what I mean? But they always, I'll just say this, they tell you things about yourself that are totally untrue, and typically it's all about their lies and schemes. They always have to go with their lying and scheming regime. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter, even if you've made something clear to somebody, even if you've shown them proof, even with proof, it doesn't have to be the truth. They're still going to say it because they have to stick with their regime. They have to stick with it. Because everything that they're about is just built on a lie. Mm-hmm. After somebody is repetitively doing put downs, unically, after a while, that that energy starts to affect you. You know what I mean? It'll start to affect you. But it's typically a scheme based upon another scheme. It's weird. And they'll lie, but we all know what it's about. They'll just say a lie to you, which is why it's better to keep them blocked out of your inbox. They'll say a complete and total lie about your character so that they can smear your reputation somehow. But then also sometimes it's with an intention of scapegoating onto you. So, you're the scapegoat. Whatever is wrong with them or other people in their lives, they have to scapegoat it to you. And that's what they've been doing. When you think about it and think back, that's what they've been doing for years. Okay. I mean, there's so many details that I can give, but my main point of this discussion, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all, because I can't talk anymore. I have to sit here and be quiet. I've done a lot of spiritual work today, a lot of healing work, and Main aspect of it is that when you get the warning, take heed and realizes how serious it is. And I've seen them permanently damage people and people that can't come out of it. It's a miracle when you're able to come out of it. It's a miracle when you're able to fight that. But after a while, you start to break down because you're fighting too much and you're going through burnout. So that's why you have to get away from them. And especially if you're somebody that's a manifester, that, trust me, they're trying to shut down your manifestations. Trust me on that. And they sometimes can do it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, all right, y'all. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna let y'all go. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I am tired and sleepy, so I have to go. There is a plan. I know that a lot of you guys feel powerless to them. Please understand that the plan that Spirit has for y'all, because I started communing with Saint Bosco too, who was a patron saint of witches, and also Saint Michael, Jesus, and Saint Raphael. And what they were saying is that you have to get rid of the spiritual marriage, pretty much, and then be very specific about getting away from them. Okay, and taking back your power. The way they feed off of you is almost like they'll give you $5 and take your 50,000. So everything is reduced in value to where there's nothing left. So for example, if they say, okay, I'm gonna give you $5, they've literally, you could have had 50,000. Yeah, I hear you on that. But you know what? It's different. It hits different when it's someone that you're intimate with. Like some people are intimate with their family. I'm not. I don't know what that is, but when you're intimate with if it's an intimate partner, that's going inside of the heart of your body. Everybody's womb is directly below their heart and their navel, which connects you to, at some point, to your mother. So, you know what I'm saying? When that, that's one of the reasons why I've been, as far as with, like, sexual partners, it's like, yeah, no. So, oh, yeah, 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 you cute, but no. You know what I'm saying? No. Not going there, buddy. All right, y'all. Let me get up off of here. I'm tired of talking. I gotta go. I gotta give my voice a rest. Y'all have a good one. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. And I think that's what that's typically, we're healing in the Saturn Power Group. Just let you know, we're doing healing from narcissism. But if you've had a narcissist in the past or either currently dealing with one and you want to get away from them, it is a specific ritual that needs to be done that And to be honest with you, it's almost like y'all know that show American Horror Story. Y'all remember when one of the sisters had to go back in time and run Michael over in the car so that it made it to where he never existed, never did any of the stuff that he did. It's that deep and it's very tiring. It's very tiring. You know, astral and time travel is very connected. So it's a lot of that and that can be very confusing to a lot of people. But sometimes it requires that. Okay. And I am accepting new clients. Thank you, Unicali. I am accepting new clients. So you guys can reach me for that because I believe that, oh man, Lanasa is coming up. Lanasa is coming up. Uh, don't even play with your future no more. No more. No more. Quit playing with your future. I know what Narc is gonna say. Oh, you ugly. You ain't got no future. You just no good. You ain't. You just go die somewhere. Just go die. Like, why aren't you dead? Like, you're. I mean, they. You know what I'm saying? American Horror Story Apocalypse. Remember how they had to go back in time? Um, and they literally went back in time, and you don't have to go back in time and kill them, but you know, I think that was symbolic of, and you know, time travel is a real thing, especially, you know, when we do reversals, we have to time travel. There's been times when I've done healing meditations for clients, and they'll tell me about a point of a traumatic experience, and I'll be there with them. And there's certain things that I'm doing during that memory. And they're like, I don't know what it was that you did, but whatever it was, you know, goodness gracious, everything is better. So, you know, and but as far as like when it comes to them, it takes a lot of writing, it takes a lot of power words, it takes a lot of intention and a lot of certain types of herbs. Yeah. So it does take some kind of focus. Okay. So, and you know, I'm willing to teach people that during my classes too. So if you guys can afford spiritual work, I can teach you. You probably learn it in maybe 3 or 4 classes. But you know, how to get rid of that spiritual marriage, how to get the science and the alchemy from you know, the tarot, the messages that they give you, the key codes that they give you, uh, you know, yeah. So I'm here, guys. I know yesterday was a rough day. I already know it was a rough day for especially a lot of the empaths like myself. Okay, especially a lot of women. So, especially if you had children. Keep in mind, narcissistic people are usually tied into child abuse, endangerment, and child sacrifice. Keep that in mind as well. Okay. And so, 9 times out of 10, if you are a witch and you said, oh, I'm protecting my little ones, they wanted vengeance. They wanted vengeance because they're angry and upset because you won't let them have your kids or you won't let them hurt your kids. Did I watch Amy? I did watch it. That movie was a trip. I've been so busy, Unicali. You know, ever since you told me that about that day, it's been a lot of negativity though, because having people in my chat room is a no-no. It's not that they can hurt you, it's just that there are some people that are psychotic enough that feel like I'm not supposed to talk to anybody, which is weird. and it's not romantical. It's not cute. So yeah, I know. I know what you're talking about. So it for the past 3 or 4 days, I've been in spiritual war. I've been at war. I haven't been able to really sit down and relax and do a damn thing. I've been at war, literally war. And that's why yesterday Jesus said, come here. I said, okay. I said, why do you it? And it's like, listen, I know you're a witch, and I know I ain't trying to take nothing from you. Just let me do it. And he did it. Okay. So that, and it was really nice and refreshing. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't like the narcissist's intention to do that. It wasn't. They don't always. They just want you to suffer. They don't like that. They don't like that. You know what I'm saying? They just want you to suffer. Okay. Yeah, I was at war yesterday, sis. So, what's this new picture you using? I can't really see it. All right, y'all. I'm tired. I gotta go. All right, I'm here for y'all though. Me and Saint Michael. Before I go to sleep, I'm gonna make him an early morning garlic offering. Y'all know that Saint Michael loves garlic, and him and the rest of the spirit team was just phenomenal yesterday. Can we give him a different name? Who, Jesus? Is that you talking about? Can we give him a different name? I know. I did. You know what? Honestly, I know that y'all probably like what, but you know what? It was one of those things to where it was one of those things. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, Unicali. It was pretty bad. It was. And what my apprentice was telling me was that people have different versions of Jesus. And so this one was a healing kind. Okay. And, also she was saying that, so, and it just was like, yeah, I can't really give details right now at this moment. But it was definitely a spiritual attempt that was made on my life. Okay. And it's simply because I'm a good person and I help people. And then I have a lot of talents. I know. And you won't be hearing me say it too much either. I'm not saying that I'm converting to Christianity. No, I'm not. But just on some random stuff. Yeah. Yeah, Unicali. It was bad. It was bad yesterday. Yesterday was, but and so it was like a whole team. Everybody came to the forefront. The whole team on both sides was literally working on me. So, and then protecting my loved ones too, because they know that they know what I mean. So, but no, I'm not converting to Christianity. I'm not doing that. I know y'all like, oh, please don't do that. Like, no, that's not what I'm doing. I don't even have to do that. I'm just telling you, it was pretty bad yesterday. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Anyway, let me get out of here, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Okay, blessings to y'all. Bye bye.